You're listening to SM Media, the home of exclusive West of Scotland Football League content. Hi folks, and welcome to the latest episode of the SM Media West of Scotland Football Show. I'm Scotland Pike. It's an absolute pleasure to be your host as always. It's a bit of another busy weekend ahead, not as much league action, obviously the Scottish Cup and the West of Scotland Cup, but we still have a lot to talk about. To join me on this week's show, I'm delighted to welcome the Arthurlie manager, Craig Palmer. Craig, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have you on.
No, thanks very much, Scott. It's a pleasure to be on.
No, I'm looking forward to this one. It's going to be good. Obviously, I spoke to you the start of the season at the Glenafton game, and we said about obviously doing this show, so it's great to finally get you on the show as a guest. Obviously the first thing to ask you is, obviously you took over after Andy MacFadyen left just before the start of the season. How have you found the new job as manager, and what's it been like so far, kind of settling into the new post?
Okay, it's been good, Scott. It's been good. It was. I think I spoke to a few people about it. It's kind of found it slightly easier because Andy the gaffer was good with us last year, and he kind of let us do a lot and be involved in a lot. So a lot of the kind of aspects that I need to do, obviously, I'd kind of done a lot last year as well. So it made it a lot easier. Obviously, it was a kind of bolt out the blue. I wasn't expecting it. We got back to Florida and pre-season, and he pulled me in. I think it was the Irvine Vicks game. He's like, "Listen, I'm going to have to kind of leave you and go because of my work," which obviously everybody's work comes first. Totally understand that. But obviously I spoke to the players and kind of spoke to the wife and the family and stuff, and we just kind of spoke to the coaches. We just agreed that it was something that we had to all continue together after the kind of the season that we had that year. So it was something that I kind of always wanted to do, but it was kind of more thrust upon me a wee bit quicker than expected.
Aye. And obviously coming up for the conference that you won your conference so well last season, and coming up, most of the same players have stayed on. How have you found the step up to the Premier Division? It's a lot, obviously, it's a lot harder competition, but you're sitting in 6 points with 7 games, obviously 3 wins, but the points disallowed with an ineligible player, which I'm sure we'll go on to. But how have you found it so far, the league season? Has it been kind of up and down? There's some good results in there, but there's some more good results as well.
Aye. I think it's kind of, you can kind of see, as you said there yourself, it has been kind of up and down. Listen, we didn't really start very well. Everybody knows that. We had a wee kind of good patch there recently until last week. So it's just the step up. We all knew the step up class was there. That's no disrespect to it. We're in. I played in the league for long enough. I've been involved in it long enough. I know most of the players, the coaches, etc. That's all up there. Was always going to be a step up in class, and that's no disrespect to the conference we had last year, because we had some really tough games. But no, I've said it for the start as well. I think the boys we've got were mostly all Premier League players anyway, so there shouldn't be any excuses. Although it's a step up, there shouldn't be any excuses. This is really all these boys wanted to be. That's where they are now. So although it's definitely, listen, you can see with the league again, Scott, everybody's beating everybody. So the standard speaks for itself. It is a step up, but it's a step up that I feel onward day, like any other team will, that we should be able to compete with anybody in the league.
Yeah, obviously the one result that jumps out is the 11-1 victory over Petershill in your last league game. What kind of clicked that day? Because you look at that result, and Petershill have obviously been struggling with form, obviously replaced their manager, but that does show that Arthurlie are capable of putting in a really good display. We saw that last season with the likes of, I think I was writing every week that Gary Carroll and Gary Smith are scoring a hat-trick every weekend, and it's Arthurlie can do that to teams. So what kind of clicked that day?
I think it was a kind of a number of things. I think for several weeks back, we played Cambuslang at home, Scott, and I think it was well reported that I was on kind of social media and interviews and stuff that it was probably the worst kind of game of football I've ever been involved in. Player, coach, / manager, everything that I'd ever been involved with. There was just nothing about it. Nothing was right, and that was no disrespect to Cambuslang. They came, they were organised, and they deserved to go with the 3 points. But we were. Oh, it was so bad. I couldn't put my finger on it. I still can't. So for then we had several chats with the boys and the coaches and everything ourselves. And for that week, and whether it's been that or not, we spoke. That week we had a great week's training. I think we went and played Luger in the Cup, which was 4-0, I think. But it was 4-0 going on 10-15 again. We really had good attacking. Their goalie was very good that day. So we again, things were going well, and we moved on to the Hurlford game, which we won 1-0. But I don't know, a lot of people weren't there and might have thought that, Arthurlie's went down and nicked a 1-0 win at Hurlford. And I think Hendo and that would even say to us after the game, it could have been 5 or 6 and nobody could have complained. We were excellent that day. And I mean, Hurlford we were tapped the league at the time and they've went tap the league again. So to go and do that, and we've always said when we click, we are a good side. The Peters Hill one again, I think it was just brewing 2 weeks, 3 weeks down the line, doing really good things at training, things, getting players back for injury and stuff, players back for holiday, that all the teams are kind of in the same boat, but it has been hard with that. And to be fair, the first 14 minutes, we just blanked. We're 4-0 up in 14 minutes. We absolutely blew them away, Scott. And some of the football, I think, we videoed the game that week and I watched it back. It was even better when I watched it back. Some of the football and some of the goals we scored were really impressive. And I was more impressed with the fact that we actually kept the standards up. We did even at kind of 7-1, 8-1, we were still knocking the ball about sharp. We were still making wee passes, we were making runs. Everything was really, really good. It was hard because obviously Peter's still a kind of team close to my heart. I played there for 6-7 years and they all committed in that there. So no, it's been coming again. It's been coming, but then for the first half on Saturday, we were doing bits of it, and then we don't do it on Saturday there against last Saturday against the Meadow. We get through into a kind of long ball against them. We went back to our kind of usual habits. But no, when we do things right, I'm very, very confident that we're a good side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And we'll get obviously your thoughts later on what's coming up for Arthurlie. Some big games coming up, and obviously it's a really tight league, as you say. But we're going to talk a wee bit about the Scottish Cup. We obviously are recording this on Monday night, so just before the Pollock game. So we'll maybe get into that in a wee minute. Just I want to send, I'm sure you'll agree, Craig, we'll send our best wishes to Dylan Dykes, and obviously it's bad news today, but we are wishing them all the very best, and it's such sad news, isn't it?
Oh, most definitely. I heard one of my coaches is good pals with him, and I heard obviously a while back, a couple of weeks back, that the boy had it, and listen, it's a horrible thing. We all kind of have family members and stuff who suffer for it, and hopefully the boy got it early enough and the boy can beat it and get back doing what he does best, because he's a good football player. It's nice. Listen, it's horrible. It's an absolute horrible thing, but I wish him all the best.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really, really bad news, but wishing them all the very best for it. We'll touch on obviously a couple of games. We've got the roundup on the channel that went out yesterday just before this. So if you want to get full match reports on the Scottish Cup action, then I'll post a link below. You can go on that. But we'll just obviously touch on the teams that went through. Darvel went through a 7-1 win away to Dalbeattie. Auchinleck qualified. It took them penalties to beat Bowness United. Massive result for Drumchapel, 4-1 away to Gretna. They're obviously through into the third round. The draw will obviously have taken place just before, I think we're recording this just before the draw as well. And just a commiserations to Ben Barbco winning. There's a few Glasgow Uni obviously unlucky not to qualify against Albion. Cumnock obviously Friday night lost as well. First of all, obviously 3 teams have went through, and hopefully can Pollock make it 4 tonight. But it's some result for the West to even get like Auchinleck, Darvel, and Drumchapel all through. It's a massive weekend for the West just to get those teams in that competition. Oh,
it's brilliant. I've always said it for our level. You want to see them, apart from when you play, you want to see them do well. They're only enhancing our level. Mm-hmm. And for years we've said it, even before we came West of Scotland, that we feel that some of the talent that's at our level deserves and should and could play at that level. So to go through for the Drum as well, I know hoping that, and for them to go into that third round, I mean, they've only became a team. I know obviously they're like a well-established team, but they've only became a team 2 years ago. I spoke to them, but they've had a plan. They went into that Demolition Cup kind of thinking that they would hope that was the way they would get into the Scottish. They're building, they're putting money into it, and listen, it's coming to kind of fruition. They're into the third round, and they're only 2-year-old and fully deserved. Darvel, I spoke to Mick at the weekend. Darvel, I think they should be going. No disrespect, they've still got to go and do it, but they've got the ability to go and trouble a lot of teams. But no, Scott, it's excellent for the level. It only enhances it. And I say, you mentioned what's coming up Friday night, who I thought were unlucky. Dumbarton just a wee bit net towards the end, but no, same with Paul tonight. No, listen, I hope all these teams win. Obviously, Cohen and Gom's a good mate of mine, so it was obviously so I want to see them go. But according to his interview, he was really pleased, and they were they done really, really well, and they were unfortunate to actually lose the game the way he was kind of talking in an interview. So no, these teams are going there, and they're certainly there. You go, Glasgow Uni as well. Sorry, we played last year. Took Albion Rovers, was it extra time?
Yeah.
So no, listen, these teams are all going and doing themselves proud, and hopefully they go as far as they can.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, as well with the Junior Cup, Troon qualified, so they'll get into this weekend. Obviously, they play in the Junior Cup as well. But Scottish Cup, as I say, the roundup we'll have out on Tuesday, so I'll post a link and you can see all the full match reports for all the games in the Scottish Cup. And we'll post the draw as well, so you'll be up to date on who they get. But West of Scotland, there was still league action to take care of. Only 3 games in the Premier Division, but it's Hurlford that's at top of the league. A 2-1 victory at Clydebank. Michael Mullen with a double. Obviously, you beat Hurlford, but it's some job that Darren's doing, obviously, again, for that team. Clydebank have been in a good run of form as well. So to go to Clydebank and win 2-1 and then go top of the league, some job that Darren's done there, and obviously been a great start to the season.
Oh, definitely. Listen, Darren does that every year. I don't think for the last maybe 1 or 2 years they don't do much in kind of pre-season. If you look at it, but signing wise, they've got a good. I think last year he said he was running with 16, 17. They've got a good kind of squad of boys that they keep together, and they add maybe 1 or 2 in. And listen, they're always a hard. I played against Darren a couple of times before when I first came into juniors before he chucked it, and I know his teams will be like. He was a hard man, and his teams are the same. And listen, they'll get results. That's why I'm being honest with you, I spoke to him off on Friday, I think it was, and I've no team wise, but just when we run kind of Hurlford maybe lost to us and then they lost to the Meda, Clydebank picked up a couple of wins. That's one I actually expected Clydebank to win. So for Hurlford, as we spoke about earlier, to go and win 2-1 shows you it doesn't matter what form you're on, anybody can beat anybody on the day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Big result for Hurlford. Michael Mullen as well. I mean, how many times does he do it? Amateur and junior. He's just at junior now, obviously at West. He's done it for so long, and a big player for Darren to have, I would say.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I watched the highlights and I seen the goals. Just 2 good finishes as well. So to have somebody have somebody that puts the ball in the back of the net, everybody would love that. That's how you win games.
Yeah, absolutely. Another team that's in good form now is Irvine Meadow. A 2-0 victory against Tetmen Glenafton. You obviously played Irvine Meadow. You've played Irvine Meadow twice this season. The first game was obviously a 1-0 victory, and I think obviously James and Colin kind of struggled at that point in the season. But George has come in, he's immediately steadied the ship, and now done a really good run. They've won their last 2 games. They obviously won in the cup last week against yourselves, and Irvine Meadow are back to some sort of good form after a bad start.
Yeah, I know George and Kevin again. Feels I was speaking to everybody. I spoke to them. They were at the Hurlford game when we played, and I spoke to them, and they were kind of confident. I think they went in straight away, and they put 3 or 4 boys on the list, and he's brought the boy Louis Kerr, who I think is a good player. We played against him last year at Whitlets. So they've went on and they've got ideas, and they're getting about it quick. And they were a good side last year at Whitlets as well. Before I think they obviously moved on and Pope took the job. But last week against us, listen, even when Spenny it was there, you kind of know what you get with them. The type of players they've got. They're going to be hard. They're going to work hard. They've got some quality as well. And even last week against us, they were smart enough. If I'm being honest on the game, I think they done the homework. They came and they pressed really well, and we couldn't. They were all over us the first 10, 15 minutes, absolutely all over us. And we kind of took over for 15 at half time, and probably should have been out of sight if I'm being honest at half time with the good chances we had. We came out the second half. He's obviously the Rugby side, and we got drew into a game that they want to play, and they fully deserve. We done absolutely nothing in the second half. We just played long ball, and they fully deserve to beat us. And no, you can't knock what George is doing. He's been in there. He's put his own stamp on it, and they go down to Glenafton, who we went earlier in the seasons. No an easy place to go either. They're another kind of stuffy, hard team that make things hard for you, and to go there and keep a clean sheet as well. No, listen, I can only applaud them. They're obviously they're getting there. Whatever they're doing is working.
Yeah, and Glenafton as well. Obviously, that's the 4th game without a win in the league, and we obviously spoke at the Glenafton game. I thought that Glenafton were okay that day. I thought it was kind of a game that could have went either way. But would you be worried about Glenafton kind of 4 games without a win? And they did have a decent start, but now they're sitting perhaps maybe known as good a run as they wanted to be.
It's not. I obviously don't know the manager in that way at all, but it's no ideal. The run we can be a bit similar at the start of the season, but listen, they've got their two. Was it Mark Robertson and Ryan Steele? They're experienced boys, so I'm pretty sure they'll be working hard to try and turn that form around. They've got some good players like the big boy Kerr up front who score goals. They've brought in the boy Payton, boy McKernan that I played against, Pettigrew at the back. So he's obviously got the players there. They just need to kind of go back to basics, and which I'm sure they don't need me to tell them, and I'm pretty sure they'll be trying to put that right as quick as possible, because that's the last thing. You want to go 5 games, 6 games, 7 games, and then it becomes real trouble.
Yeah, and it's that thing as well with this league, and that's what I'm keen to get your thoughts on. With new league leaders again, I think this is the sixth team that's been top of the league since the season started, and that shows you just how competitive this league is. And you look at there's only 4 points between first and 10th. That's unbelievable.
Aye, I've been kind of looking at it, because we're not the side that we want to be, so I do kind of regularly check it. And I even Max, who I spoke to on Saturday, like Rob Roy are flying. It's teams that I think they can a wee bit of the change in the regard, as they say, but a lot of the teams that they expect to be kind of mid-table to bottom now are getting better, and rightly so. Why should they not be up there? Even I think Troon were on a good run at the start of the season. It's just the standard in our league's very, very good, and I don't think you can ever say any Saturday in any game they're definitely going to win. They're definitely going to win. It's just, and I think that's a credit to the kind of the clubs and the kind of the money they're putting in, and the hard work is getting put in behind the scenes by the committees and stuff as well. They've got to that kind of level. It's good to be part of, and it's where all the teams kind of want to be. That's where they want to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Final game in the Premier Division. Petershill obviously had a managerial change during the week while he's left, and it's kind of difficult. That situation obviously was probably the writing was on the wall. It's been a bit of a weird summer for obviously Lockie leaving as well. There's a lot you could probably get into with that, but again, it's difficult. But Petershill, they were 2-0 up against Cambuslang, but Cambuslang come back, took it to 2 each, and denied Petershill the first win of the season. Probably a game both teams would have been desperate to win. Obviously, they're sitting second bottom and bottom of the league. But a 2-2 draw, Petershill would probably have been kicking themselves that they didn't win the game.
I think PZ will be disappointed, as you say, Scott, especially to go 2-0 up. And you know to see that. I don't even actually know the times when they went. Because I was watching games, I don't know when they went 2-0 up. If it was kind of later or what, I don't know. But to get that good start and the kind of position they're in, even any team to go 2-0 up and then kind of throw it away in that situation, they'll be really disappointed. And I think it's 2 boys I played with, and with a big boy in Curry, Stephen McNeil the goalie, and Kenny Haddon, I think it is. So no, that would have been a massive boost for them. Listen, if I'm looking at it, it's a great result for me. But no, I don't think they'll be happy. Canby, I think, will be happy with the point after the kind of situation they were in. But no, being down there, you need to be winning games, and I'm in that now as well. If you go 2-0 up in games, you can't afford to be throwing them away.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, another interesting weekend in the Premier Division. 3 games, but still, obviously, shows you how tight the league is. First Division, again, the league is no different there. Kilbirnie are now sitting top of the league. They won 2-1 at home to Blantyre. Blantyre were 1-0 up, but John Scullion scored a double to give Kilbirnie a crucial 3 points. Kilbirnie sitting top of the league again. You've come from behind to pick up a massive 3 points like that. It's a big win for Kilbirnie, they'll feel.
Oh, massive. Again, especially in that league, with kind of the similarities of how good that is to the Prem as well, everybody beating everybody. And Blantyre are a good side, so to be 1-0 down and come back and win that 2-1 to put yourself to that's a massive result for Kilbirnie. Absolute massive. And that's 2 of the ones that were, again, with numerous others that were fancied for the league. So no, I think that's a massive result for Kilbirnie, absolutely massive.
Yeah, Gart Cairney sits second, only a point behind. They picked up their 5th League win in 6 games. Hard fought 3-2 away win at St Roch's. St Roch's obviously doing really well as well. A real big game for both sides, but Regan Aitken a double and Gart Cairn now sits second.
Again, another match. What we just spoke about, another massive one. To go to the Rock and take 3 points when I played in my day, and especially the way David Gregg's got them playing again, it is massive itself. So for them, I think they went 2-0 and then back to 2 each and then nicked it. Is that right?
Yeah.
So to date in that kind of style as well. Gatcairn are going about their business quietly. I know there was a kind of what made them last year because obviously I suppose they spent a bit of money this and that, which they've probably done this year as well. I think they would have with Roston Lott, I think, who I played with years ago, the manager's brother in, and they've signed a couple of good players. So no, they're going about their business quietly, and to go and get that result, I think they'll be really, really, really happy with that one. They say because the Rock will take points off teams at home, and you get that one out the way with 3 points, I think they'll be delighted.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that was one of those games that you felt could go either way, and I think a lot of games do that as well. But one game that was an interesting game, Neilston against Cumbernauld. This to me was another game that could go either way. But Darren Jones and Dylan Fletcher both with 2 goals, and Neilston ended a 4-game winless run with a massive 4-0 victory. It shows you just the unpredictable nature of this league that Neilston and Cumbernauld are I think they were bang on level in points, I think. Cumbernauld were above Neilston, and now Neilston are 2 points clear of them with a 4-0 victory. And it shows you just how unpredictable this league is.
As I say, it's like the Prem. You can't go they'll win. It's crazy, and as I say, I think it only can applaud the kind of standard of the teams in this kind of level as well. And I think Neilston were struggling a bit. I did speak to Chrissy Cameron a couple of weeks ago, and I think he was saying he had a lot of injuries and suspensions and stuff. So that even made that more surprising for me with the fact that Tony had come on all gone well. They just signed the big boy back for Irvine Meadow and that as well. So
yeah,
no, that's again that's a great result, and to go and put 4 past Cumbernauld after, as I say, no winning in 3-4 games. No, that's another great result for Neilston. I think they'll be over the moon with that.
Yeah, absolutely. St Cadoc's are another team that celebrated 3 points. They had to come behind to beat struggling Rossvale 2-1. Against St Cadoc's, they're only 5 points behind the top, and they've a couple of games in hand in the likes of Kilburn and things like that. But they've the big talk in the summer about how they obviously the players they brought in, but they've, as you say, that with kind of Gatcairn as well, they've went about their business quietly. They've only lost 1 game so far this season in the league. They're doing pretty well when you actually look at it.
I think because people see them kind of doing mid-table, is it? They're kind of mid-table.
Yeah, they're sitting in 8th.
5 points off the top of the league. So we played St Cadoc's in a friendly, and again, John was my coach at youth. We played them in a friendly, and I thought they were a very impressive side. They played really well for that game. So I am although they're closer, people are saying, oh, they're mid-table, this and that, 5 points away. I think they'll be back if they keep injury free and keep doing what they're doing. They'll be bang there at the end of the year, and I'd be very surprised with the talent they've got if they're no. I think they'll be the kind of Petershill last year. I think if they get on a run, they'll be with the talent. They'll be a hard side to beat.
Yeah, and it shows you just as well. Like, see if you can, like Drumchapel, for example. Drumchapel were third. They were top of the league before this weekend, and they've won the last 4 games. So it shows you all you need is a 3 or 4 game winning run, and you could be right up the top of that league.
Oh, definitely. That's it. I think I know what we're on. I think Clydebank we spoke about in your show the other week. Clydebank done it, and they got a couple of wins, and then they became something like 2 points off the top of the league. So Scott, no, that's what we're saying. It's hard to go on a run of 3-4 wins in these leagues. So when you do it, it's paying dividends big time because it's taking teams way up that league where they want to be. So I know I think St Cadoc's. I say I don't want to jinx them, but I think St Cadoc's, if they keep players fit and get on a run, they'll be bang there.
Yeah, Shotts they won as well. They won their 2nd game in a row, and they beat Rutherglen 2-1. Again, Shotts probably a team that have probably done up and down season. 4 wins and 4 defeats from 8 games. Are sitting in 12 points. Rutherglen, a team I thought would maybe be doing a bit better than they have been. They're sitting in 9 points so far. Sorry. But Shot's a big one for them, and it's one of those games that they'll probably look back in a few weeks and think that was a massive 3 points.
Oh, great! John, that's a great result for Shotts again as well as you're saying. Glencairn, I know the Glencairn. They're one of the teams like Glencairn could go and put 3 or 4 past somebody and then just do something different the next week. They just seem kind of inconsistent, but they're another one. If they put it together, they can be a hard team to beat. I don't know. I think Shotts lost a few players for last year because they were a good side in their conference. And I think they've kept the majority, but I know they go and beat Glencairn. That's again, like we talked about St Rock's, Glencairn's a team that can beat anybody. So to take 3 points in that game, I think Shorts will be really happy with that.
Yeah, the second division, 4 games to talk about. Renfrew remain unbeaten and are now 4 points clear at the top of the second division. A big result for them as well, a 3-0 win away to Greenock. We talk about Renfrew a lot as probably the team to beat in this division, and it's weekends like this where likes of Craig Mark and Maybole and Ashfield are obviously off, and they're probably their closest competition. And you've got to go to places like Greenock and win 3-0. McCallum, Diver, and Innes with the goals. I think it was big result again, and they're looking really good so far.
I seen the boy. I think it's a boy Innes. His free kick. I seen that on Twitter. The cracking free kick. But I know I watch it. You talk about them on the show regularly and kind of looking at the league state. Renfrew look, they as you said, they look the team they kind of beat there. And as I say, we done it last year. If you get on that we kind of run and picking up points, then their confidence will be sky high. And the boys not changing, they'll be absolutely buzzing. And for me, that's half the battle. If your boys are going out there believing that they're going to win every game and that they can beat anybody, then no, they look a good side, and I think I don't actually know the manager in there, but I think he's kept the kind of nucleus of the squad for last year. The big boy Diver who got talked about a lot, and for him to keep them together, and no, I think that's massive for them. And just say they'll be a hard team to beat. Yeah,
really good side, really good performance as well. St Anthony's, Martin Mullany with a hat trick for St Anthony's, a 4-3 win over Glasgow Perthshire at home. The tightest of margins, but when you've got a player like Martin Mullany scoring a hat trick, it's another victory for St Anthony's, and they're now unbeaten in the last 5 games in the league.
No, great going, absolutely great going for St Anthony's. I think was it right? They were 4-0 up and they won 4-3. Is that right?
I think so. Yeah.
Aye. No, and for the boy to score a hat trick again, a wee peek at one of his on Twitter, and that he scored a bit of a cracking volley, the boy. But no, the Ants are on a great run, and as I say, they'll be quietly fancying themselves to try and be the ones that go and chase Renfrew. And as I say, if you're scoring, I know I can see you, but if you're scoring, I think they score a lot of goals. The boy Jack Dobson that scores, and I think they've got some good players there as well. So
Caballo as well.
Aye, I've seen that with a couple of times. He's a very good player. So no, Danny will be very happy with what they're doing now. As I say, they're sitting
14 points from 9 games in fifth position. They're only a point behind Ashfield as well, so they're in the hunt.
Oh, aye, they'll be very happy at this stage. Now, I'll be very surprised they weren't very happy at this stage in the season and kind of taking it on for there.
Yeah, 4th as well, big one for them, a 3-2 home victory over Maryhill. Again, probably Maryhill, probably a team that I thought maybe I've been doing better than they have been so far. I've said all season, I think the loss of J McInally to Drumchapel was massive for them. But again, 4th, going under the radar, actually, not a team that you would say like Renfrew and Craig Mark that make a lot of headlines, but they're going about their business really well. I mean, they're sitting on so far 14 points from 9 games. They're in the mix.
Aye. No, fourth one, if I was to kind of talk about Andy for last year, I thought 4th were very good in the league last year. They were very organised. They worked really hard. They made it hard for us. I think we went down there after Christmas. I think we won the game 2-1, but they were very good. And I said nobody will want to go down to 4th and play them. That's pardon me. That's not an easy place to go. And the only Maryhill side that you say the boy J McInally they lost. I think Ross took a few of them to bonnet in as well. So I think it's Butch's brother. Is it the young boy?
Yeah, Mark Young. Yeah.
So that's a hard one for him, and I don't think they're doing too well this year as I've seen. But that it's hard when all your good players kind of leave and you've got to then go and build something. So for Maryhill, as I say, he's got the kind of knowledge of the kind of development league and stuff as well. So maybe in a couple of months' time or something they might start picking up. But no, great result for 4th. Absolute great result for 4th. And as I say, I was really impressed with them last year. For a team with the kind of budget and stuff they've got there, they're doing really good work down there.
Yeah, absolutely. Other result of that week, the weekend, Muirkirk, a big 3-1 victory for them at home to Yoker. Again, Muirkirk, they had a really good start to the season. I think they beat Ashfield 7-2 and they've kind of struggled since then. But a win against Yoker, it's a big result, especially at home.
Oh, man, again, I keep saying massive result for Muirkirk. Yoker were the kind of team last year and they've been a wee bit inconsistent the last couple of weeks. But no, for Muirkirk, a 3-1 win against them, we kind of moved ourselves up with the kind of bottom 3, I think it was. That's a great result for them. Another place we went to last year, Muirkirk, hard place to go. And listen, it's not these places you don't want to go. So these teams just need to keep winning their home games and try and take points away from home and push themselves up the table. But that's a great result against a good Joker team.
Absolutely, and it shows you as well. Division 2 is just as competitive, but Division 3. It was all about the game of the weekend, in my opinion, was Larkhall at home to Ardrossan. Top of the table clash, two teams in great runs, but it was Ardrossan who won the day, and they're now the league leaders, a 3-2 victory away at Larkhall. Aidan Ferris with a double, and it got their 5th straight League One. Ardrossan are really picking up now, and they're now deserving league leaders.
Aye, I've kind of noticed them the last couple of weeks, and I obviously I know a few of the boys have got, and they've got a lot of boys that can play in the leagues above. I know Liam, I played against Liam McGuinness, and that's getting older now, but he's a great player. The boy Ricky Hanvey was at Kilwinning. That's a good experience. The boy Ferris up front scoring goals. I think if it's the same Chrissy Craig, I know that played the drum chattel. They've got as well. They're top players. They're top players. So for them to have that talent down there in that division, no disrespect, is they're going to be hard to beat. Again, we say that about the other teams, but they're going to be hard to beat if they've got that kind of talent down there. That's good players with good experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Next game, Fanart deny Kello to their chance to go top of league, a 2-1 victory. A lot has been made on Kello's social media about the refereeing performance. I've spoke about last week that I don't necessarily think that's the road to go down, even if you feel the referees. But I don't know how you feel about that yourself, but I think naming referees in social media is just something I wouldn't do.
No, it's not what done. Listen, I don't want to say too much. I feel the frustrations, but I don't think it's not going to get you anywhere. I think I put something on about arrangement at the Hurlford game that he gave an offside, and even the ones at the Meda earlier in the year, but it wasn't really kind of slagging. But it's not going to get you anywhere. It's just frustrating. I think you're kind of frustrated after the game, and pardon me, sorry, you're frustrated after the game, and kind of when things are going wrong, it's you do things that you shouldn't really be doing because you're not going to get anywhere with it. But on the game, Fanart have came up for winning the league, and looking at the league they're gone really well again as well. I mean, they got three games in hand of Ardrossan, and they can go 2 points behind them if they win the league. That's really good going. Really good going for Fanart. So, and they beat Kello, who were on form at the start of the season as well. No, listen, Fanart. High praise to Fanart. I don't really know what I'm doing there, but they're doing really good work as well. For coming up and trying to compete with a lot of these kind of season junior teams as well. So no, very well. I can only really very well done to them.
Yeah, and another team that's in good form so far, Port Glasgow. They had another good result at the weekend as well. 4-0 away East Kilbride Thistle. East Kilbride Thistle, obviously Aaron Connolly's now took over. I think they're in a really sticky patch at the moment. I do feel a bit for Aaron because I think it's a big job there. You've got a lot of kind of experienced players to get them kind of back, to get everything back going. I think it's going to be tough for Aaron.
Aye, it's a hard one because I think if anybody says that we didn't think with the players East Kilbride were signing at the start of the year that they weren't going to be bang there, then they're lying. And I'd say that in their face because a lot of the players they signed by Russell, Sean Winter, all these kind of ones, that they again we spoke about the experience with Dawson. These are all proper players. They might be getting on a bit, but they were all proper players, and they still obviously can still play a bit. So no, listen, that's a tough job to try and get. It's a hard one. I think they've got to come good. I don't know what's going on up there. I really don't know the kind of ins and outs. I've seen a lot of things with the old manager and stuff that we'll know getting, but I don't know what's going on. But on the other side of it, for Port Glasgow, that's a great result for them. They got up to East Kilbride and win. And I think the Port Glasgow again just signed the boy Mulkey. There's a lot of boys that are good players with good experience getting in these leagues as well, and it's making for good teams down there as well. It's an impressive result, a really impressive result in East Kilbride. I obviously wish Alan at the best, but they're kind of struggling a wee bit now, and hopefully they can put it right.
And I'm also reliably informed that a trialist who we know is the son of a very famous goal scorer in Scottish football did score again. So again, when your trialist scoring goals in the past 3 games, it shows you that it's really beneficial. Jamie McKenna with a double as well. Port Glasgow are picking up.
Aye, no, they are picking up. they're picking up. What is it they've got? They've not lost in the last 3.
Yeah.
So to lose, I think it was 3 in a row, and then not losing the last 3. That'll be good for them, and they just need to kind of keep going. And as I say, what are they? 13 points after the league with 2 games in hand. So again, that we're talking about the first and second. When we spoke about the leagues, they're all really well. Maybe the conferences have done well.
And I certainly think the evidence suggests it has, because you look how competitive the leagues are, particularly the top. Even this one, like as you say, there's first to fourth, there's only 2 points of difference. But as you say, there's a lot of games still to be played, and once the games get even out, there could be 9 or 10 teams in here kind of muchness. Like you look at maybe a couple of teams underperforming, like East Kilbride and maybe even like Les Mahago. Les Mahago maybe not, but Girvan I thought would be maybe better than they've been. They've obviously really struggled on to them in a wee minute, but there's teams in there who can really mount a challenge just if they get the right run of form. A team that's benefited this week are Dalry, a big one for them. They won 1-0 away to Killook. It's never an easy place to go with Killook, but getting a 1-0 result that'll be big for Dalry, and they've needed it, I think, because they've been very, very tough to be consistent. I don't think they've won 3 in a row, and that's the difference. They're more than capable of doing well in this league, but they just need to get a run going.
Aye, these conferences, I think it's always been the same over the years. You need to get the runs going, and you go to Killook. I think I've only ever played a friendly up there, but I can't imagine if the weather's, it's a big old Mastro tough, if the weather's no nice, and they'll be used to it and stuff. So I think did they change the games at right, Scott? It was supposed to be at Dalry because of the park or something.
I think you're
so
right.
For them to change that, take obviously away game to get it on. Chris is obviously confident that these boys can go and win games, and no, that's a great result down there for them. And again, they're kind of lingering about where the rest of them are that can go. And
they've obviously they lost 3 points as well with an ineligible player fiasco that I think you obviously suffered from as well. So it shows you that there's a lot of improvement at Dalry. I think if they can get 3 or 4 wins in a row, they could be right in amongst it. But 2 teams that have a massive victories over the weekend. First one, New Mains going to Girvan and winning 4-2. First one of the season, finally gets them above the 0 point mark. I think that any victory New Mains pick up this season's massive, but going to Girvan of all places to get a result, huge.
That's a great result. As you say, to get the first kind of points on the board, New Mains, and they're always kind of New Mains, no disrespect, we're kind of always classed as the kind of the lower team of the. But listen, they've got guys down there that are working hard. The players are obviously working hard, and they've got the result that they deserve for working hard. And they go to Girvan, as you said, in their big open park, big cracking park, and win 4-2 down at Girvan. That's a great result. And I really wish you guys down there all the best. It's no nice to see the same with Saltcoats you're about to talk about. Like, to see all these wee teams winning the games. It's good to see, because these guys still turn up Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday, and turn up on Saturday. And you know, winning games is what you want to play football for. So no, listen, I'm really happy for New Mains. Really happy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's final game of the weekend in the league was Saltcoats 2, Lugar 0. Lugar, I actually thought Lugar would be a lot better than they have been. We obviously had Johnny on, the assistant manager, last week, and he said it's just been difficult to get a run going. But they've now lost 6 in a row, I believe. Saltcoats, they ended a massive losing streak as well. When Saltcoats, that they'll be similar to New Mains. Any victory for these teams are massive, and especially at home as well. When you've got a team like Lugar round about you, that's a huge result. And I think Saltcoats play New Mains next Saturday.
It's a big game for the both of them for two wins in a row, or possibly. I know we played Lugar a couple of weeks ago, and it was only 4-0, and I did think it could have been a lot more low. It was very good, but I saw enough about them to think that they would have been, they're a decent side. So for that, that's a bit of a shock. But again, so pleased for Saltcoats. Saltcoats were in our league last year. And again, they got through them with a lot of teams that won their level, should we say. And they knew that. We spoke to the manager about it and stuff, and they were excited for this year to get back in where they should be. And not to go and beat Lugar, that's another very good result for Saltcoats. And you say, maybe a wee run will take them away from them if they or New Mains, whatever one it is, can win next week, then try and take that on to the week after. But no, as you say, they're two massive results for the kind of so-called bottom teams. No, really pleased for the both of them.
Yeah, absolutely. There was no 4th division games this weekend. We'll touch a wee bit in the cup games. We'll just go through the results, and I'll ask you for a couple that caught your eye. Arthurlie 0, Lags 2, Ashfield 4, Vale of Clyde 3, Bonnet 5, Lanark 1, Kilsyth 3, Kilsyth Athletic 3, Kilsyth Rangers 1, St Peters 2, Glasgow United 0, Threave Rovers 2, Thornleywood 1, a 13-goal thriller between Thorn and Irvine Vicks. Thorn won that 7-6. Whitletts went to Vale of Leven and 1-2-1. Wishaw beat Rossvale Academy 3-2 at home. Rob Roy 1-6-1 at Easterhouse. Johnson won 5-3 at Les Mahago, and Craig Mark won 5-2 at Royal Albert. I suppose the first place we start is if you were a punter at the Thorn Irvine Vicks game, you certainly get goals.
You've got your money's worth there. 7-6, 13 goals. I don't even know what to say to that. I know we scored 11 last week, but that's a great game. It's not a great game for the Irvine Vicks boss or the kind of Fawn boss, but
certainly defence will be the topic of discussion, I'd imagine, for both teams in training this week.
I'd say so, aye. But no, that's 7-6, and obviously for Thorn to go and beat Irvine Vicks, who have been going really well as well. That's a good result for them. And they date in that style. I mean, I can only kind of smile and laugh at 7-6. It's not often you get 7-6s. But no, Irvine Vicks have been going well, and that's a good result for Thorn, and they'll be really happy with that.
Yeah, you look at maybe Rob Roy's a good place to go as well. Like, obviously, you would think they would maybe go to Easterhouse and win comfortably, but it just does them the world of good as well. I think Connor Hughes and Ben Daly got a hat trick as well. Just does them the world of good for the league campaign, going to a place like Easterhouse and just being able to kind of continue that run.
Aye, I actually took that game in, Scott.
Right.
We play Rob Roy 2 weeks in a row in the cup and the league, so I took that in, and obviously Mark, who's been on me, Mark's a good friend of mine, the Easthouse manager.
Yeah.
And I took that game in, and it was hard. I spoke to Max before the game and stuff, and listen, Rob Roy were very good. They did what they had to. They were very organised. They were very professional, and they kind of done a job on Easthouse, who, as I say, I said to Mark, that's no Easterhouse's level, and I think they've got St Cadoc's next week as well in the cup, which isn't nice. But listen, they stuck in there. They fought hard. Just Rob Roy are a good young athletic side, play good football. Some good goals that day as well. So for that one with Marky, I think he just has to kind of move on, keep his boys kind of spirit up, and the same the next week move on, because he didn't keep 3 wins in a row before that, and. Rob Roy, we travel to Rob Roy in the cup next week, but no, Rob Roy are a good side. They were very professional performance.
Yeah, absolutely. A big result, probably not a result that you would say probably when you division wise, obviously a 4th division team beating a 1st division team is huge, but Threave beating Thornleywood 2-1. This was one game that you struggled to kind of predict, because Threave are certainly better than the level. Like, Threave are a good side. What do you think of that? Do you think that's a surprising result, or is it one of those that would maybe kind of two very even teams just in different divisions?
If I'm being honest, I've heard all the kind of rumours just as yourself. I've not seen much of anything of Threave. I've heard the rumours that they're putting a bit of money into it, and I think it's been well documented that they've got a good setup down there, and they've signed a lot of good players for the south and stuff. And this is the angle they're going at. They're hoping that they can travel up the league. So I've no doubt they're going to be a good side, but I've got a boy on loan at Thornleywood, and I know they both the way Thornleywood work, and they're a hard working good side. So if I'm being honest, although I expected good things for Threave, I was a wee bit surprised, because Thornleywood have been going well as well, and they're a good hard working side with good players. I'm saying surprised. I wasn't surprised. I've just maybe. It's a good result for Threave, put it that way, and maybe the boys down at Threave won't be surprised, because they believe in, obviously, the kind of confidence in the talent they've got. So, no, as I say, I've not seen much of them, but there is a lot of talk about Threave this year, and you go and beat Thornleywood 2-1, will certainly do their confidence no harm. That's a very good result.
Yeah. Any other results in the cup caught your eye over the weekend?
St Peters beating Glasgow United. I just looked at there. I thought, listen, I played Glasgow United in a friendly a couple of weeks ago, just a kind of closed doors thing, and I thought Glasgow United were decent. No disrespect to the players, I thought they were decent enough side. I think they are struggling with injuries and stuff, the boy Rob said, but for St Peters to go and beat Glasgow United 2-0, I think it was. I think that's a great result, and it'll do their confidence the world of good. I think any team for that 4th division that's going and winning games, like even Form, who go and beat Irvine Vicks, I think any teams in the 4th division going and winning games can only do them the world of good, because these are established kind of junior teams, the leagues above them. So no, that was a very impressive result as well. And I'm trying to look Kilsyth Athletic. I know you the young boy Bailey is it on a couple of weeks ago, and I watched it. And listen, that boy's doing really, really well.
Yeah.
Really well. Listen, I know he's got all the qualifications and stuff, but the fact is he's still a young boy. And for him to be able the way what he's doing, for him to kind of manage that changing room at that age and kind of do what he's doing and getting the results he's getting, and the boys are obviously buying into it and they love what the boys doing, and that's a massive result for them again. And we all talk about Thrieve for this league, and West Park I think are putting a bit into it as well. But Kilsyth for me are the most impressive team in the league every week. I think are they unbeaten still? Is that right?
Yeah, they won the first 8 games. Yeah.
Aye, so what that boy's doing there and what the players are doing there, regardless of what league that is, that it's very impressive. And listen, I can only applaud the boy because whatever he's doing, he's doing it properly. Because he's went and played, I don't know, Kilsyth 2 leagues above them, and I don't know how the game went, if it was tight or no. But to go and beat Kilsyth in a derby 3-1 and to be unbeaten, that's very impressive stuff what they're doing there.
Yeah, and obviously Kilsyth Rangers have a new manager as well, Carlo Garasoli. And the new manager bounced. They got to take a lot of pressure playing against a team kind of close to you as well. Especially with Kilsyth Athletic, probably been more to prove with coming up through the leagues and things like that. But tremendous credit to them. Just a couple of results I want to kind of point out. Bonnet and beating Lanark 5-1. Now Bonnet and probably division wise they should be beating Lanark 5-1, but again Bonnet will just do them the world of good for the league campaign, getting a result like that. And I think as well, you've got to give a lot of credit to Johnson Borough away to Les Mahego, because I thought about all reports it was a very tough game, and Les Mahego certainly made a fight of it. So massive result there as well. But aye, it's been another really busy weekend, and we've got a lot to. We've touched on a lot of stuff there. But Arthurlie, as you say, they go to Rob Roy, 2 games in two weekends, going to Rob Roy in the Junior Cup, and then over to the league. It's going to be tough. These could be 2 massive games against Rob Roy.
Aye, they're massive for us, Scott. The fact we went to the south of Scotland last week to the Junior Cup, I think it's for a place in the last 16. And let's face it, everybody looking at it, I think Davos get Talbot and there's a few other tasty ties, but what us are Rob Roy's going out, so one of us are going out. And no, listen, as I said before, I went and watched them and I know how Maxie and the boys work. They're a good side. But on the other hand, we're a good side as well, so we need to match them and kind of go for there. But no, I'm looking forward to it. We played them in last year in the quarters of the Scottish, and they turned us over. I think it was 3-1, and deservedly so. We didn't turn up that day, and they were good. They deservedly turned us over. So we'll hopefully turn up and try and hopefully put that right. And we need to start picking up points in the league. So for me, it's one game at a time. We take the Scottish game first, and we see how that goes, and then we can move on from there. But no, two big games against a team who, for me, deservedly are kicking about up at the kind of top of the league, because where people are seeing where they were last year with the kind of relegation and stuff and just getting into a good run. But this year, they're certainly no relegation candidates, and I think they've been top of the league and stuff, and I don't see a reason, if they keep the kind of squad, they've got good squad depth, if they keep all that together, I don't see why they shouldn't still be there at the end of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously getting into kind of league and the kind of rest of the season, what's your kind of hopes and expectations for the side? Again, it's been kind of up and down, but what's your kind of hopes going into the rest of the campaign?
Well, I coach, manage. I do that like I played. So it's to go up the league as high as possible. Try and pick up a cup. It's got to be that. It's got, if you don't play football to win, and it might sound cliche, what's the point? If you don't believe that you can't go every game and beat whoever you're playing, then why even play? So for me, listen, if you're looking at it from an athlete point of view, we just stay in the league this year and we build again. It's the first year back up. The club are doing good things behind the scenes, and they're trying to help me and the squad and the way along. So for us, it's to stay up. But for me personally, I'd like to see if we can get on a good run. Just see how far we can go up the league. But ultimately stay in the league.
Craig, it's been an absolute pleasure to you on the show. Thank you very much for joining me. I've really enjoyed it.
No worries, Scott. Thanks for having me. I've enjoyed it myself.
Brilliant. Thanks very much to everyone that's tuned in. Please follow us on social media for more consistent West of Scotland Football League coverage, and for our podcast and YouTube channels as well for new content every single day. Thanks very much, everyone. We'll see you soon. Cheers.